to tell a story. Now you may like this story, you may hate it, but it's only a story. Maybe the past, maybe the present, possibly our future. But let me tell you this in a straight face. This story is not a happy one. It is the telling of two brothers. Once poor, devastated, changed to two brothers. Not truly poor, but devastated. His greed's blade is soaked with what is the blood of God. In the eternal shape of time, there used to be two beings, God and the devil. God creates all, the devil becomes all. It is a good life for them, but not for their subjects. Not all of their subjects. The two brothers, two poor, scared brothers, killed themselves. I won't tell you why. I won't tell you how. But they died. And that is the thick of it. Now, they became ghosts. Maybe because they killed themselves, maybe because they lived a balanced life. But death came to them and said, "Hey, so you may think the life of a ghost is simple, but you have a choice to make. The choice of a dark angel and a light demon. This choice is up to you, but I would choose light demon. They aren't treated badly, nothing wrong seemingly happens with them, and really you get cool powers." But they did not take his memo correctly. They thought it was just something to choose because you would have a bit better of a time. No, it was the really only new choice for them. So they became dark angels. Why? Just because they wanted to be. What's the point of being a demon if you can't live the life of a demon? And being a light demon really just sounds like an angel with a demon's job. But being a dark angel was worse for them. They pretty much have the same life. Though, let's go back. What happened when they were ghosts? Before death left to the new ghosts, he said, interesting. You're not good at possession. I guess I can give you this. And left. He didn't know what he was gifted. He didn't know why he was truly gifted it. But he had something. And that was really all he needed. Well, his brother used what was known as possession to twinkle around with their thoughts and make them think a bit happier. and better. Most others made people do bad things, or get caught for bad things. That is just what happens. Then, underneath all this coding, they were actually doing much good, more than just putting criminals in jail. But they still kept on their road of becoming Dark Angels. Puppet Master couldn't possess at all. Is it truly how Death said it would be? Someone it can't possess? Well, I guess there has to be something he can do. He was gifted power, right? Or was it just his imagination? He took his two hands, and he thought. For a long time, he thought. And something came from it. Strings. But only in his mind. You want these strings to actually do something. So he sent them to do some work. Make people actually make good choices. But instead of just making people in his head do good choices, real people had done good choices, he opens his eyes once more. Or what ghost eyes are. And sees strings coming from his hands. He wanted to take them off, but they're attached to something. People. Of course. He was gifted strings. Strings that would control. Instead of just controlling one, he could control many. But he was tired. How? You notice the ghostly form that he is has faded. Seemingly this form is formed from something else. Your soul. What's part of your soul? He was intrigued by this new, interesting thing. But he couldn't figure out why. Why is he so interested in this? Well, anyways, he gets to work. Finally being able to work beside his brother. The brother was happy for him. But time to tell you of the mass that is the world. A law that even God and the devil must obey. The law of abilities. First things first, what is an ability? A power gifted to those whenever a soul connects to a body. Pretty simple. If you die, you can gain a second ability, but at the start of your life you only have one ability. Pretty simple. And this actually makes sense for their backstory. You see, as brothers, they were mistreated for being freaks of sorts. So it's just taking your strength and doubling it out of nowhere, making you faster with no apparent reason. He was unnatural. The flow of his strength was unnatural. Normally it would go down after you take a long break. It would go up after you trained for hours. But the fluctuation of his strength was unnatural. They did fall through multiple near-death situations. Could that have triggered? No. You see, God didn't want humans to be capable of such power, for it might destroy the world and all the galaxy itself. So, he sealed it away, under a case that only dead people can see through. Having multiple near-death situations, he saw hell, and in turn, completing one of the two that he needed. The other one was literal getting near a near-death situation. Pretty much saying that once you get to a near-death situation, you pretty much get superpowers. Please. How near death does it have to be? Next to literal death's door. Bleeding out beyond our normal comprehension. Just with pure strength, you survive. That is how close you need to be to death. To beat your heart, to make you capable of adding more blood to your body faster than any normal human would. That is how you gain the strength of an ability. But I'll stop on the rant of whatever an ability is and start ranting about what is this power that you get when you become anything really other than a human. They are abilities, but part of a single ability, most anyways. The ability is known as, of course, race ability, an ability given to a certain race. But there's a secret one, not given to humans, but allowed by them. An ability known as evolution. It isn't really an ability as it is what happens. You see, if a soul is too emotional, the emotions push out the energy beyond their human bonds. Energy being what powers every ability. You gain it, you take it. You use it as a scale. You may even use it as something else, but it is definitely in every ability out there. So, what is this hand skill that happens? You see, your soul is outside your body due to this bond being forced out, and then pushed back in due to your body's dying in a state. This would obviously give you a new ability. You die for a single second? Yes. Though most people in humankind haven't been able to do it, it has been recorded as something a demon or an angel could do. And we won't talk of them, but we will talk of what happens when they become dark angels. Their life doesn't really change much. They get blabbered at for being dark angels and not normal angels. They said to themselves, he was right. We would have had a better life being like demons than these monstrous dark angels. They had the powers of teleportation. How strong could it be when you had to wait 5 or even 10 seconds? How strong could you be with such weak skills? And their abilities didn't really get much stronger. The power that he got coming back after death, but didn't gain an ability. He would kill himself, yes, He wouldn't gain anything new. He would just keep these same vines, these strings, with nothing to show for it. And greed? He didn't even get a greed-based ability. The ability he had before didn't help him at all. Hyper-regeneration? Not much. Being able to create thunder castles? Not much. I'm in the middle of making a video.
Oh, okay. I'll wait till you press it.
Anyways, though the people hated them and themselves hated them, there wasn't much else they could do, except they found a way to use what power they had. They climbed the ranks, they became stronger and stronger, until they became part of the Heaven's Guard, or should I say, God's Guard, made up of angels, sometimes demons. They took the place of envy and greed, gaining what is known as an amendment. Pretty much, an amendment is some sort of effect, cause and effect active system. It's also kind of like an ability, a new set power. And with an amendment, you can gain greatness. The amendment given to greed is whenever you kill a person, you gain their ability. Meaning, he could gain in strength, he could become great. Envy didn't actually gain a power. This is a title, and not just any title. The title of the strongest. Maybe pride truly was the strongest. For his amendment, the longer he is in a battle, the stronger he will become. But is that truly a great amendment? Yes. Better than whatever weak amendment he got. His life has been in torment. But he got the weakest of amendments out there. The amendment that if you desire something, you will gain the power to grasp it. Not truly good, but becoming the strongest means he will gain the power to become the strongest someday. But it's pure power, nothing as in strong as an ability. So, he fights and he fights and he doesn't really get stronger. He fights and he fights, outfighting his friends, but what is part of the Heaven's Guard, but Ragnarok. A Ragnarok that would never come. And he started reading books. If he couldn't become stronger, he would become more knowledgeable. In turn, he learned something interesting and unique about the world. God had foretold what is known as Armageddon. Well, first Ragnarok would appear, then Armageddon. Armageddon will only appear when a being is such named the Demon Lord will awaken. He thinks back. Isn't the devil kind of a demon lord? No. He's the brother of God, the other half to him. Why would he be the demon lord that causes Ragnarok? And in turn, Armageddon. He was interested in this tale, but there wasn't really much more to go on about it. God, learning that he was actually interested in books, gifted him an object of destruction as being one of his seven protectors. He was gifted one of the greatest things out there, the Book of Earthquakes, or more known as the Book of Names. While normally the Book of Names would only have a weak purpose in this world, he would gain some sort of power from this, knowing his true name. Besides, he was called Puppet Master, sometimes Envy. That is how his brother got his title. A title replacing their names, shifting, maybe getting better. But his name, he didn't know. Same thing with all people. For some reason, people would forget their name after death, and in turn would gain great strength if their name was returned. He was not the creator of this power. It just happened, with no name truly given to the two brothers. If they died, they wouldn't really have a name to forget, other than being God and the devil. Let's actually learn his true name. We're not going to tell it here, but maybe in a future story. He finally gained what power he thought he needed. Seemingly thinking he gained great power, he fought pride once more and lost. But then something terrible happened. An uprising in the demons. Don't know where it came from, but some demons think that the angels are taking advantage of them, making them do work as the angels do nothing. Even one quote said this: "If we're slaving down here, what are the angels doing up there, living their great lives? I know they were humans before this who've done good, but we have done nothing bad ourselves. We're just punishing sinners for nothing. What do they gain out of it? The sinners go into heaven after they die. Or, well, not die, more or less serve their time. But you see, we gain nothing out of this deal." All giving this to their leader. "As my subjects and my people, I hear your cries. But tell me this, have you died before?" "No, of course not." "The sinners have, and the angels have. Now please, put to rest this great fight. Why punish someone who isn't really needing of a punishment? Why, he is definitely needing of some sort of punishment. Why give them a great title, and not us? At least give us something. If you want something, get breaks. You have lives you can live. You don't just have to serve us. And you gain great power over the humans. You could conquer them, but we're not allowing that. So, live with what you have, and not with what you don't. Fine. I guess we were a bit too greedy. As another says, but greed is great power, and greed is need. Who speaks these villainous words? He shows his face. This great struggle creates annoyance for the devil. But it's not as if he can fix it. Dark angels actually come to this place and saying, we'll help you with your job, as long as you stop harassing your leader. Even envy, or the puppet, comes down here. The devil thanks him for this, saying, we're just doing our part. Besides, heaven isn't really a good place. In turn, their lives and so on were normal-ish, taking down devils who wouldn't return to the law, those who did by persuading, and killing sinners. Just one sinner had a great wish to finally get to level 256. Knowing that's almost impossible, first off, and second, even if you do get there, it's not as if there's anything to do once you get there. He says, so what? Not as if getting there isn't already a big enough problem in itself. So, what? After this great struggle, something happened. Something that put a frown on all's face. The devil was slain! The devil was slain! Cross the message of the world. As he grasped his sword of destruction, or a copy of it at the least, he felt something. As he heard, even though this copy may not have the great powers of the original, it can give insight, or the power of intuition, knowing something that may have been years before it truly happened. He's been feeling this for a week now, thinking that it was just some normal insequential thing. You really didn't think much of it. But, as you can see, the unforgiving devil was killed. In turn, a power struggle was opened, until people figured out who killed the devil. And he alone felt fear, pure fear, crossing through his veins, pure fear inside of his soul. The fear was because the new called himself the Demon Lord. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. Well, we might get to the point where greed kills God. There's a bit more into the middle of that. But let's talk about this world a bit in a different light. How do the people react to this? And what about all the other characters we haven't even met yet? You'll see them in future episodes. I'll tell you that. But to give you something a bit more to chew on, Greed's ability is interesting in a sense. So there's something called effect element. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. Yeah. It's something interesting, pretty much. An elemental attack or elemental power, or seriously anything, gains a new effect that isn't in its natural power system. But in a later episode, we'll talk about greed and how this is kind of different, actually. He creates fortresses, and if blood is in said fortresses, they become people-ish. But that's pretty much all. There's a lot more to this. Oh, there really isn't. Video. But anyways, let's just skip to the end. Bam. Let's just show this drawing. Come on. Seriously? Give me a minute. Pictures. Saved pictures. Here's something. Or less. Something to get you hooked for a minute. This is my first design of the Puppet Master. Pretty cool. He has red boots, though, and cool little twinkle thing there. He's a bit proportional, but this is the other design. He looks a bit more fine-tuned, other than the legs. I would like them to change, but Anyways, bye. Hope to see you later. And other stuff. This video, oh gosh, what? I didn't know this was 30 minutes long. Oh, well, I might cut this down, probably won't. Bye.